Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is MLP Dota and johnxfire. We are back for another day of the DPL-CDA, and what am I looking at? September is going to be up against Kaka. John, we have seen some unfavorable matchups. We really have seen some very, very uneven choices from the Chinese community.
Oh man.
This one has to take the cake. They force September to play IO mid up against Mars mid.
I mean, it's it's going to be a bit of a challenge for September, but you know, there are ways for the eye to do that. I believe you'll be depending mainly on your spirits to land, so there is an opportunity there for the damage to be coming out from September. It's just, well, it's not as easy as just being a Mars, just being innately tanky. It's still, it'll make for a fascinating watch. Last hit
Sure.
probability from the IO is pretty trash. Like 47 base plus 2 is not something I'd call playable for the most part. Although at least his animation is solid, so there's that.
In theory, September should have zero chance, right? Like, he's got 12 less base damage on average. He can't carry a Quelling Blade, so Kaka's gonna have that advantage. Not to mention, it's a Mars, you know? Like, God's Rebuke's a thing, Spear's a thing, Bulwark, by the way, is a thing. I do agree with your sentiment that maybe with the spirits he could do something, but what are you gonna? How are you gonna kill him? Like how?
Oh,
Well,
Kaka?
Kaka's giving a night. Oh, Kaka takes it down the. That's the first time we've seen that, by the way, during the 1v1. Someone actually putting a sentry down and de-warding. So Kaka really isn't willing to give any advantage away to the side of this poor IO September.
September knows. Oh,
This will
he
be
knows.
the most impressive win if September somehow pulls it off. I would not believe my eyes.
Yeah, I think if he can win IO mid up against Mars, well, I don't like IG's chances if they let this hero slide through. Nonetheless, is gonna kick off, and I September does go for overcharge first to give himself an easier time in terms of last hitting and maybe a little bit more durability in that lane. So that is something he can factor in, I suppose. Just a slight boost to his right click there.
I guess so. You got to take every advantage you can get. This should heavily still be Kaka's lane for sure. That God's Rebuke is going to get very frustrating as Kaka gets some levels up, and I gotta say I also kind of enjoy the Helm of the Dominator build September's already queued up. It's like that's the one way I could see him winning if he actually somehow manages to get a very quick Helm of the Dom and can actually take a creep. But if the rules are correct, John, now I don't know if this applies the same way, but you're not allowed to jungle. Is taking a creep with Helm of the Dominator jungling?
That's a very tricky kind of pseudo-legal question that I'm very ill-equipped to answer. The fine details of that. I would want to say yes, but maybe not. I mean, even if he doesn't go to the jungle, I guess you could take an extra range creep and try to chip the tower. Maybe that's what September could shoot for.
Yeah, I guess so. One range creep though, like that's not really. It's not really going to do it. Like 23 attack. It's I guess it kind of evens out their base damage a little bit, if you want to call it that. So far, so good for Kaka. No surprises there. You're going to give it to September. He has managed to find 5 last hits so far. So while Kaka has double, the fact that September's finding anything is pretty impressive in my opinion. And some nice attack with the overpower, with the tether. Just whacking away onto Kaka. Trying to take down that HP. Oh, Kaka, that is a very unfortunate spear. Just completely whiffed. Maybe September does have a chance.
Kaka's got to be a bit careful. He's not quite applying harass towards September. He's winning in the last hits, for sure. But he's not shoving September out of lane, and he's perilously low himself, although he does have a good amount of regen. He's not in any real trouble.
He hasn't got any levels in the spirits either, September. I maybe at level 4 you go for it. Like, I understand how overpower is somewhat overpowered in a sense, right? Like, it might be what September needs to even have a chance, but you'd think the spirits would be pretty decent in this matchup.
It would really melt right through Kaka's shield. You can't really block it with a bulwark. But I think he's really just trying to trade in terms of last hits. He's at 10 to 2 compared to 16 to 8, so the gap is consistently low, and that's down to him really just applying that overcharge and getting as many right clicks off as he can, which is kind of paying off.
Kaka,
sort of.
I was gonna say he's not got much regen, but he does have 2 salves and a fairy fire, so he's fine. Like, there's a lot of harassment coming out from September, but Kaka's just kind of waiting to get full efficiency out of his own salve, and now he'll commit one. September, almost 4 minutes in, hasn't really taken much damage. Kaka has been very, very focused on getting those last hits. Now he will start running forward, perhaps looking for a spear attempt. Kaka does get a nice spear. But September, I doubt he dies. You do have God's Rebuke, but he's going to be fine. Still has a Tango. He'll be right. He'll survive.
It is a very conservative game from Kaka. Like, he's definitely not applying as much harass as you'd expect. Like, he's conserving his mana, as you mentioned. This is giving September time, but I think the build-up for the Dominator is just way too slow. Like, the costs are way too high for it to last that long. He might get it if it drags towards the maximum time for the 1v1 mid, but I'm not sure if you're really going to hit that point with a Mars that once you hit level 6 here.
I mean, that's the point, right? Like, the maximum time frame is 10 minutes for these 1v1s. After that, it's about net worth, last hits. They just keep going down the list until they find somebody who is ahead of the other. And it's almost guaranteed that if Kaka does reach that 10-minute mark in this game, he's going to win. Like, there's no way September's going to have a higher net worth. So he does kind of have to get a kill. It's really the only way he's going to win this. We're already at that 5-minute, 15-second mark now. And Arena. First one wasted. Kaka. He tried. It's a bit hard with these arenas, right? Because the walls don't go up for a split second after you cast. Kaka, he is not happy about it.
Yeah, that means it's probably going to be a minute until we see another kill attempt. Because he's really just waiting for the arena for the damage to consistently come out, which again is giving September time. He's about to hit his level 6 as well. I'm actually curious whether or not he's going to go for it. So probably not, right? Like, yeah.
Sorry, John. You know what he can? It seems like what September's plan is either because you're not gonna like the chances are you're not gonna kill Kaka, right? But with this overpower, as we just saw, he's tethered to the siege creep. If he could get close to that tier 1 tower, that siege creep is gonna do quite a bit of damage with overpower. So Kaka's gonna have to kind of rush to take it out in September. He's already moving now. I believe that's the game plan here for him. Problem is Kaka does take the aggro of that siege creep, so September's not really able to get much. But if he can keep this alive long enough, maybe, just maybe he'll get something going. But looks like he does abandon the siege creep. He's had enough of that. Helm of the Dom still very far off. No GG's being called by September. He's still trying, which I really love to see. Oh, siege creep is now attacking the tower. He won't tether though. He's holding on. Arena will come out. September, how do you get out of this? Oh, he misses the God's Rebuke, but gets a spear off, and that should be it. Surely September dies. I know. Fairy Fire comes out. The tether as well. One more will do it, and Kaka, he does finally get the first blood. And September does GG out. Definitely the most unfair matchup I have seen so far in these 1v1s. Kaka will take his free win.
I like the creativity from September, though, opting to go for that kind of push with the creeps instead with the overcharge and the tether rather than trying to outdamage the Mars. Either option would have been equally as successful. I think the chances of pulling either one off was pretty slim. So props to September for at least trying. You know, that was longer than you'd expect it to go for.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be creative. He had to find a way to get it done. Well, that'll be it for the 1v1s. That means we can go into the first game of this best of 3 series between IG and RNG very, very soon. It is MLP Dota and johnxfire. The draft will be live on stream as soon as we find it live in our game. We'll see you soon.
One of the games where the Naga Siren actually does look really good for the reasons you mentioned. I think one thing to consider as well is that it gives them the added control that they're lacking. So now you have arrow setup for Mirana, right? With the net Naga Siren has, you have an easy setup for Mirana if you're laning those two heroes together. You have easy follow-ups for the Ice Pad, easy setup for the Macro Pyre Dual Brett. A lot of value in really just picking this kind of hero with the lineup IG and more than likely RNG has. You mentioned the Ursa doesn't deal with Naga Siren. Well, it's not going to be so bad in the early game. I think it's really as the game progresses when the illusion spam starts to get annoying. I think the laning phase for RNG is still looking all right. With the heroes they have, the Beastmaster can still annoy that Naga, but you have to be careful about the Riptides, because you're going to be feeding a lot of boars if you're not careful up against a Naga Siren.
I mean, there's so many ways to feed the balls right now. If you are the Beastmaster. IG, this draft looks very, very powerful. I do enjoy seeing this, and usually I hate watching Naga Siren in games, John. You know me. I can't stand these kind of heroes, but I think IG with this kind of Naga pickup in this game look really, really good. And well, with this final pickup now, they did ban out the Alchemist, so they don't really want to give RNG that super early lead they do require to snowball out of control. They'll take the Queen of Pain. Honestly, a fantastic pickup, right? You kite the Ursa. The Beastmaster's going to have to decide, who do I want to roar this game? You've got so many decisions to make if you are this Beastmaster, because RNG don't have any other lockdown.
Yeah, they just have no way of keeping the Queen of Pain in place. You don't have that instantaneous stun beyond a roar. So you're going to have to commit that roar on the Queen of Pain if you want her to stay still, but you really want that for maybe the Naga Siren, maybe the DK just to keep him intact, and you're really going to have to choose your targets right. RNG does close out with a Lesh. That's one way to help you figure out which one the real Naga Siren is, and it's a solid mid laner, especially against a DK. The matchup isn't too bad for the Lesh. You can kind of bully the Dragonite right until he reaches level 3 or 4. That's when the regen really kicks in. I think the timings here from RNG are definitely a lot earlier. So if they are trying to play up against IG's draft, they do have some pretty potent synergy here to take these towers fast. You have the Beast, you have the Lesh. If they commit to a tower push, they will more than likely find that objective. They've just got to be able to do it fast enough that the Naga Siren is not getting space. That's the absolute key for RNG to make this draft work. Deny space from Fly and just take over the map. Past minute 15, you want at least most towers gone from IG.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very important for this RNG side to win that laning stage, and that's not going to be easy. That's for sure. Like, the Queen of Pain lane, going to be hard. You never really win a lane up against DK either. It's just usually an even trade lane, and the Naga Siren, like, sure, you can slow her down, but she's going to go into her jungle. She's going to catch up real quick. RNG, they cannot slow down with the aggression they need to pump out. This game number 1. We'll go into it, however. I think we've made it fairly obvious already, John, but in terms of drafts, who do you prefer?
I'd actually go. I'd go with RNG still, of course.
Wow, really?
I think their lineup is. I think their lineup can just kick online pretty quick. If you're not careful about the push, it can really bite you in the wrong way. Now, the nerfs to push, of course, means that the tier 2 push is going to be a bit trickier. But when you have a Leshrac and a Beastmaster, I think there's a lot of potency there to sustain from the Phoenix that you could see coming out is going to be really hard to deal with. You don't have the cleanest way of shooting her unless you have good positioning with the arrow, which, of course, it's Cop playing the hero on that Mirana, so the arrow will more than likely land. A Phoenix isn't too hard, but still that Sunray is going to cause some focus issues for IG. IG need to buy time, and they certainly can with the lineup they have. It's just that the moment they lose some of that space, RNG will punish them and shut down that map. So I just think the win condition for RNG is a bit easier with the heroes they have. We just have seen that consistent push performance from the Beast much more.
Well, for once we're divided on drafts, which I don't know how to feel about it, John. I feel very nervous. But it should be fun, at least, to see which one of these teams can pull off their drafts. It will be a 2-for-2 start on bounties anyway. Very even between the two. More importantly, how do you lane this? It looks like JT will go mid, of course, as that Queen of Pain. They are going to throw the off-lane DK on Emo. Monet actually going for the mid Ursa, and I believe they thought Emo would be in his usual spot of mid on that DK. But once they see this Queen of Pain there, I have a feeling Monet's probably going to switch lanes pretty quick. There we go. He's running.
This is not a good matchup. I think they over-thought about the lanes and just kind of sacked it. The Ursa up against Queen of Pain is going to hurt the Ursa. Like, JT should have a very easy time to zone Monet out, and the fact that he's staying here is rather worrisome.
Well, he was running away for a second, but perhaps his team said, no, you're staying there. Setsu's now going to run his way down. So it looks like they just wanted him to not walk, but rather just TP up top. So Setsu will make his way down bot into the mid lane. Monet will use his TP, I'm sure. Or maybe he runs down to the bot lane? Do they want to switch it up with Flywind now?
That's a strange decision. I think the bot lane's actually going okay for RNG. Fly is somewhat annoying, but with the way Flywind's working out, he's going for the Axis. So he's just applying that constant deep push and harassment with the Axis anyway. So the boars aren't a factor here.
That's a great way to deal with the Nagasaran, and Monet actually going to make this rotation. There will be the illusions coming out from Fly. He will be perfectly fine. They'll burn him down a little bit, and they'll steal some creeps off him, but... What is this? Is this a support Ursa now? Fly? Still in trouble. Ollie comes in with a Jewel Breath. Fly will be okay. He'll survive. Does have a salve available, so he'll be able to bring his health up to full HP. And we can't also forget, you do now have the bonus regen from those tier 1 towers. So you've always got a bit of passive regen if you do require it for free at those tier 1s. And where is Monet gone now? He does TP up top.
Yeah, it was a lot of time wasted though. Like, this does give Super level 2 on the Lich, and Super actually has just about the same amount of last hits as Monet. So not the best of starts for RNG in terms of lanes. They did kind of flub it with their positioning, but I think overall the matchups aren't actually too bad. So they've just got to sustain these lanes and try to get harassment out.
Never heard that word, John. Flub it. That's a new one. I like it.
I'm not the best at English. I'm not sure if that's real world. Don't
I
quote
flub
me.
it, John. I really do flub it. RNG, you know, as time goes on, I do still get concerned. Are they going to be able to slow down Fly enough?
Oh, Emo up top though.
He's in trouble. Monet should have the control now with that Frost Shield, and Emo still trying to run, but Super will waste no time. He just blasts him down. And that'll be the first blood going to the way of RNG.
They do finally manage to make that aggression work. I think that's one thing that RNG has been trying to achieve with her Ursa. Monet has just been so far forward this entire time that they really wanted that kill. They do finally get it. I think that investment is pretty worthwhile. You take out Emo, who does have a pretty good amount of last hits, and this is the moment when the DK is kind of weak, right? Level 3 is right around when the regen starts kicking, but not quite. And that's really the best time to get those kills.
Kaka, nice D-ward, but he could be in a bit of trouble. Now the jungle creeps are even attacking.
Oh.
Super, not going to leave him alone, just going to keep chasing him down. One more Frost Blast would do it, but Arrow does connect. Kaka eats the Fairy Fire, but now the Haster and Super. How lucky can you get? He doesn't have mana for the Frost Blast. He doesn't need it. He's sprinting now.
I don't think that was the right leap. He leaped into that little catching, that secondary cliff up above the steps. I think he wanted to go all the way down, a bit more forward, and is really punished for just jumping the wrong way. Really nice cleanup from Super, and very lucky with that rune.
Leap is one of those abilities that can be a bit clunky. So it's not too surprising that Kaka may have messed it up a little bit. It's a bit, sometimes it seems like you can make the jump, but you can't. That's why I don't play Mirana, John. Don't play Mirana in your pubs. These are professionals. They know what they're doing. You know, Mirana's like a game-losing hero to me. Like, you know how Slacks talked about Wind Ranger? If I see Mirana on my team, I know we've basically lost.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Pudge effect, right? For me, it's Pudge and Mirana. The enemy team always has a godly Mirana Pudge. Your teammate is not quite up to par when it comes down to it.
Bottom lane, looking back at it, Flywin is really starting to escalate on this Beastmaster. Fly just trying to fight back a little bit, but now Ollie going to be in trouble as the Wild Axes do fly out. Ollie will not make it. They do find another kill on the side of RNG. That'll make it a 0-3 now. We are about to hit that 5-minute mark, so RNG, they basically secure those bot bounty runes.
Yeah, they've got the lane setup they want. I think the key thing here for RNG right now is that they've severely slowed down Fly's farm. He's not under any threat of dying as a Naga Siren. Your support's always going to be copying that. But you take a look at the last hits, 15-1 on the Naga. Compare that to even Monet's actually had, despite switching around in that start. It's not a good time. Even Flywin is top, 32-8. So not an easy lane for Fly, and that's something that will affect his progression into the mid game.
Yeah, it's definitely not what IG wanted, but for RNG, that is just perfect. Like, you just need to keep escalating this little lead you found yourself. If you are RNG, they're going to keep trying. Of course, you have this lovely Phoenix down at the bot lane that can just continue to spam out Fire Spirits over and over again on Fly, and that high armor he does have on the Naga Siren really doesn't matter when you're talking about Fire Spirits from the Phoenix. Speaking of Fire Spirits, now Ollie's going to get a taste.
Ooh.
They hurt quite a lot,
Yeah.
John.
2 back-to-back is not pleasant, and I believe Ollie has burned through quite a fair bit of tangos already, so the sustain being invested to just stick around and try to counterfight in this lane is costing the support. You are getting a little bit of space for Fly, kind of starting to catch up, at least even with Monet now. In terms of lane, that's mainly down to the fact that September is rotating away, so you're not applying as much to the Siren, but Ollie's still being tracked up.
Well, JT's actually rotated up top as the Queen of Pain. They put Emo down mid, and Emo, with that dragon form now, is going to start forcing in that tier 1 tower, and this is going to be really important for IG, right? Like, if you find this tier 1, you get a bit more map control, and that should take the eyes of RNG off your Naga Siren, who does need to just passively farm for a while. So if IG can get this done, it will buy a lot of time for this Naga, and well, Kaka, he's waiting. Arrow is going to connect perfectly on Setsu. Emo has a follow-up Dragon Tail. Do they have enough? They definitely will. Setsu has no way out of that, but now Super going to try and trade with September. They should have the magic output here onto Emo, and eventually he does burn out. So a 1-for-1 trade. They don't find the mid-tier 1. And I think RNG not going to be too unhappy.
Yeah, RNG aren't really warded up to prepare for that mid lane. Compare the information that IG does have. They have some pretty good wards on both sides of the tower right now. So their Mirana always has the info they need to get the arrows landed. There's not quite enough from RNG to kind of predict that movement. And that's something that will cost them if they don't start shoring up their own wards. They have decent wards watching the entrances, but that's not exactly where IG's playing. IG just wants to camp this mid, and it is costing Setsu a bit.
Looks like Fly is going to rotate up top now.
Here we go again.
Siren. Mid lane, Arrow connecting. Setsu all alone this time, and well, Emo has his dragon form up again. So let's keep going, boys. The Super's there. He can frost shield the tower, but that's the best he could probably ask for. They are rotating September in as well on the Phoenix. They're going to try and focus down Kaka, who does use the Starfall. Now blink in JT. He wants this kill. The Breathe Fire will get it done from Emo, and that T1 tower is almost certainly dead.
Again, it's down to that vision from RNG. They lose their Leshrac down mid. They know there's Mirana in the game. They don't respect the ward game from IG. They get punished for it. Lose that mid tier 1. They do trade a tier 1 down bot. That's not as key of a target. That, you know, IG still has decent access to their jungle, but RNG has been kind of focusing on warding that jungle area. So they lose their tier 1 mid. They're hoping that their control in this bot jungle is going to be enough.
Well, Setsu could be in trouble again. JT just comes back in, and now the ice paths from Ollie, all of it connecting. They give him the Sonic Wave. Emo should be alright. He's running. Monet, can he get the Earth Shock off? He can, but JT's going to be able to kite him out with that Shadow Poison, or maybe not. The Roar comes in from Flywin. Ice Path is decent, but Emo has died, and now they should find a secondary in the form of Ollie. Kaka, I think you need to get the hell out of there. He'll stick around for the Ursa Courier first. One more leap charge. He does get out in time. And IG, I mean, they've lost 2 heroes for the price of that Leshrac, but finding that tier 1 tower, I think that'll be more than enough for them to be satisfied.
It really should be. It gives him a lot more space to play with. Fly, this entire time, has just been farming up and is in a pretty scary spot in that jungle. But they do have TP points. Tier 1 up top is still running for IG, so not too much of a threat. RNG now, with the state of the game, really have to plant some better wards. I think with the wards they have now, this is just not where IG's playing.
Emo got a double damage, and you know, it's not so often you see a Dragon Knight this active. But Emo has been extremely active across the map as this offlane DK, JT following up with that Queen of Pain, and both of them know. They're like, look, we've got our position 1. We don't need to take farm. We're going to take the enemy's farm, and we're going to take their lives, and we're going to keep buying time and space.
Yeah, I'm surprised RNG's actually the one playing a bit of a slow game. They have Monet building into the Battle Fury to try to deal with that Naga Siren illusions, and I feel like they have enough to at least clear out those illusions anyway with the pure magic damage they have on all their heroes. So the Battle Fury does feel superfluous in that sense. It will help the Ursa farm up, but up against a Naga Siren, you really don't want to play a farming game.
And Fly, he's really been able to catch up as well. Like, he's 3rd in net worth now. Well, bot lane, there is going to be a bit of an attempt here onto JT, but Moonlight Shadow will be committed, and it looks like IG just play some nice wards down and back off. Of course, RNG, they have the Roar, they have all their abilities up, so they definitely want to try and go for a team fight right now. There's a nice swipe on that Ancient Creep from September. They may try and commit for this bottom tier 2 tower while they're all here. I just question whether they can actually take it.
It's a lot tougher now with those changes in the patch. Like, the additional HP, just the additional durability is a lot to eat through. They don't quite have everyone locked in, although they do ping out Emo.
Okay, that could be a nice kill. Emo gonna be slowed up by the Earth Shock, and Monet now has a Frost Shield on him. Emo does have TP, but won't bother even trying, as Arrow does fly in, does connect, but the Chain Frost now coming out from Super. Ice Path is decent. Kaka, he may also go down with this DK. Nice setup there from RNG. And that tier 1 tower would be a very, very tasty treat for this dire side if they could take it down. And considering you don't have the level 6 yet on Jakiro with Macropire, maybe you can do it. But Ollie is about to hit that 6 mark. I think it may just be too late.
Yeah, this does look like it should be able to fall down, although Monet pulling back. They actually don't choose to push in JT.
Yeah, he finds an opening. Flywin. Sonic Wave going to be enough.
Man.
And RNG, they're just not willing to take a team fight. Just going back to farming. Even these Beastmaster creeps, both going to go down to JT and Ollie. And that's actually going to swing IG's net worth their way now. They've got a 1k lead 13 minutes into this game. And RNG, I mean, look, on the brighter side of things, Monet does switch out the Battle Fury and says, okay, he had a Basher queued up. Did he buy it? Is that why he's queued up a Vanguard now?
He's jumping around a lot. He's selling a lot as well.
Okay, so we're back to Basher.
Yeah. Basher into Abyssal is Monet's game plan. That is really just the way it needs to go. You need that additional lockdown. You want to keep these heroes in place. I would say a Blink should sneak in there somewhere. You need a way of jumping forward and catching out certain key heroes that are a bit slippery, but beyond that, much better build-up for Monet. It is going to take a little bit of time, which means that you should try to get some space, but that shouldn't be the main focus. And I like this movement from RNG. They smoke up and fly when in super. They know they can try to find something.
Absolutely can. Every time Raw's up, you can make a play.
Fly. Oh.
They have found Fly. Good pickup, RNG. That's a very important one. He was at the top of the net worth graph at that point.
Monet.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's gonna be a fairly even trade if you are IG, but Monet's still running away. But Sonic Wave again, just perfect from JT. And now a full-scale team fight could begin as Blade Mail gonna be popped by JT, but there's an egg there. They need to just leap and blink out. There is a bit of lag in Dota TV again, unfortunately. Kaka going to be chased down. Still has one leap charge, but the Split Earth going to connect. The Roshan will not find him, but that was a fantastic stun coming out from Setsu. And I don't know why this lag started, John, but it's begun.
Yeah, you know, it happens. That was a bit of a messy fight for RNG. They did manage to get the better exchange in the end. I think the key issues they have is still that vision game. It's just not enough. They can get caught by surprise like that. They don't have too much sentry wards going around or vision areas.
Monet needs help right now. They're TPing super. That'll allow Monet to tank quite a bit more. In fact, they're going to find Emo here on the Dragon Knight. Now JT can't finish that job off. He has to blink out. And Fly, when he's rotating in, he has Roar in 3 seconds. But he will go towards the outpost, and JT will, of course, see him. But I like the fact that they are really focusing down this DK quite a bit. Really shutting down Emo's game a lot. You still have the concern about the Naga, but it's better than nothing.
They've managed to keep a lid on Emo. He's really the one that is setting the pace. He goes for that early blink, which has allowed him to play a lot more aggressive, and that's the one thing IG has been doing quite well. They have been playing around their Moonlight and Smokes quite nicely. The vision game again from RNG just not keeping track of that in September now.
Just again, blink stun. Kaka will take the kill. Nothing wrong with that. And meanwhile, just across the river, Raw will come out, but they are going to be surrounded. Flywood trying to run away now as Chain Frost does bounce out from Super JT. He's getting very low and does go down. An unlucky bounce for JT on the Queen of Pain, but they're still going to go for more. But Monet now has joined. Song committed. Emo, he will die to the Diabolic Edict and Pulse Nova. Looks like they still want the Lich Super. He does go down Kaka. He will be able to commit Moonlight Shadow in time. And he'll be out of there safely. But RNG still bringing back that aggression. Not just sitting back and farming any longer. And it looks like the one thing that really brought them confidence was Monet. He now has a Vanguard. And that added tankiness appears to be enough for RNG to say, look, we've got a frontliner now. We can actually go.
Yeah, they have been playing quite well around that value item on Monet. He's queuing up for the BKB next. So you're not going to be seeing that additional control from the Bash. But you're going to have a lot more presence in the middle of these fights. You don't really have control that will go through that BKB. Even a Song might work against you in this case for IG, so they're going to have to think twice once this item comes out. You should expect RNG to try to smoke up once that item is up and running, but I think beforehand they're still going to be playing aggressive. You mentioned it already, but the timing on the Ursa right now is pretty darn good. This is the moment where he does shine. And this is kind of where IG does taper off. The damage is mainly coming out from JT, but when he can't commit his Sonic Wave or when it's on cooldown, well, it kind of is lacking.
Well, Arrow mid lane, Super. Gonna be dead. Monet going in by himself. This is dangerous, but September will Icarus dive. Egg also being committed. Kaka, he gets roared up. He didn't have any leap charges. So they do get a nice little pick off on the Mirana. That'll be the end of that. It's just interesting to see as well, IG weren't willing to jump on Monet while he was by himself, and it really does seem as though the Ursa is just a little bit too tanky for them to even attempt going for.
The strange thing is that there's oh.
Yeah, they make the jump with the Dragon Form now. Flywood's a much easier target if they can find him, and they do. Sonic Wave is there, but Monet says, no, I'm getting something out of this. Emo falling low again, finds it and now blinks up to the high ground, or rather Earth Shocks up, and the Ice Path not going to help JT enough. He still goes down to Monet, as they did have the control with the Split Earth from the Leshrac. And I love this from RNG. Heals up on the Ursa. Kaka, arrow doesn't connect. Monet now can just keep rushing forward. He has another Earthshock, but now Flyman's joined in. Song is available, but he's been stunned up. He can't get it off. And the Sunray will keep Monet alive throughout all this. Now the Yule's up on Kaka. Do they have detection? Yeah, they definitely do. Monet will enrage up. And that's 4 heroes down from the side of IG. And RNG, they were so low that whole time, but nobody would die.
They just had way too much sustain. You don't see anything coming out from IG to counteract that. In fact, I don't think IG has anything for themselves to sustain. We're not seeing any mechs, we're not seeing any urns from the side of IG, so they can't play that same game RNG's bringing out. They can't mitigate the heals coming out from RNG, and this means even after that fight, they go in refreshed straight to the Roche pit.
RNG do take the net worth lead 2k. They get a very, very important Aegis, giving that over to Setsu, who on the Leshrac has really caught up this game as well. He was fairly far behind through that mid lane matchup, but now second in net worth. In fact, make that first. And he's starting to look very, very scary on this Leshrac.
Certainly is. His damage is still pretty darn good. You're not seeing any BKBs coming out from the heroes of IG anytime soon. None of them actually queuing it up. So they're going all in for the offense here in IG. That means the Leshrac is going to have a greater presence in terms of that damage, which honestly IG should probably try to aim for the Lesh, if not burst down Flywin. It's just they are really tanky. They've tried that a couple of times. Maybe if you clear out one support, you can clear out someone else alone. But going for these tanky targets without throwing everything you have has not been working for IG so far.
We saw a very nice scan just come out from IG. They do scan out the smoke that was coming directly towards them. RNG also scanning out and finding the side of IG, but IG had already left, and now we see a smoke from IG. Emo trying to bait them forward. Okay, that Dragonfall may have made it a bit obvious, but it looks like they may try to initiate anyway. Kaka, he needs an arrow target. They do get a Dragon Tail off with the Phoenix. September, gonna drop fairly fast. RNG, do you really want to try and fight this right now? Fly, he's going on to Super. Meanwhile, Monet jumping straight onto that DK once again. And, well, the Naga, she's already down. Though they may find Monet, though no. He gets the range off in time. Moving forward again, trying to find another target. Kaka does manage to get the kill with JT. And Fly brought back. He found the Lich, but changes his mind. They found Setsu. That's a much bigger target if they could get it. Split Earth to try and break some trees, but it's to no good. He's going to lose the Aegis, and he will also probably lose that last life unless a miracle happens right now, but I highly doubt that. Or maybe it will. Super comes in with the Frost Shield. They could try to fight back. Fly is falling fairly low and does go down. So Setsu dies, but you've got a dieback now on the Naga Siren, and that's probably the best scenario RNG could have asked for. And now Flywin, he jumps back in. Super's still there. The egg's been dropped by the Phoenix. Can they burst it down in time? It's dropping fairly quick, and it does go down, but look at IG. They're all melting. They do go down. It's a 4-man wipe again, and Ollie's the only man left on the Jakiro needing to run away. It's a battle of the supports. Macrobuyer has been dropped. Monet says, no, forget this support battle. I want to come in and clean up. Ollie, he does manage to TP away in time. Oh boy, just a back and forth between these two. But RNG extending their net worth lead to 7k, looking fantastic as time goes on.
That was a really split up fight initially. You had a fight going on in the high ground, a fight going on in the low ground. Isolating Fly was really big. Fly was just stuck up top. The Chain Frost was bouncing on the right targets, and they managed to force that buyback, which IG does find a good trade afterwards. It's just it felt like it took them way too long to kill the Lash. That's the thing. Setsu is just way too tanky, and he doesn't even have a Bloodstone up. It's just the Lich armor playing into that tankiness, and there's nothing from IG to cancel off any of that. So they're going to get a lot of value from their regen and durability simply because IG is not itemized to counteract it.
You've got to also consider as well, like Fly with that dieback, he lost a lot of reliable gold twice in a row. He had about 1.6k gold, I believe, and he's trying to go for that Eye of Skadi. So close to that first ultimate orb, but with that dieback, he went all the way down to about 300. And now with this smoke, RNG. Moonlight Shadow gonna allow IG to walk away for this point. They may even jump back in. Dragon Tail is there. Emo. I don't know. Up against Monet, this could be hard. But September, he does already die. Now the Sonic Wave does come out, but you've lost the Dragon Knight. He'll buy back. They do finally kill off JT as well on the Queen of Pain. The song comes out.
That's a lineup.
Ollie, yeah, Ice Path. No, he only found one. Just the quick blinks coming out from the side of RNG and Super. Is he even going to die? He will. But Monet, more than comfortable to keep fighting. Setsu comes in. They want Fly. Flywin, meanwhile, getting the roar off on a back target, but Emo now with the buyback jumping back in straight after the Leshrac. But Setsu just won't die. He got the Yules off. He's chasing for more. Fly does take him out with Kaka, but Monet, he wants to keep going. They do end up fighting Flywin now on the Beastmaster IG, finally starting to clean up, but Monet's the real target you want. He's got Enrage again. Can they actually burst him down? Well, Fly is kiting very, very nicely. The Earthshock will not connect. You've got an arrow now from Kaka, and they do get the Fuzzy Wuzzy. It took a while, it took a lot of buybacks, but it finally happens. And September, that is dangerous. He comes for the bounty rune. Kaka does have Yules up. Has an arrow. Missed the arrow. JT's still going to be there. Should be. Oh no, the egg comes out Super. He's going to try and drag this out. And they can't kill the egg. Kaka, he's got no leap charges. He's going to die.
JT's hanging around?
What else is he going to do? He's going to try something. He blinks out now, but Super. Chain Frost will slow him down. Oh, it bounces down.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is the most unfortunate thing I have ever seen. But Super, what a great play. Realizing the jungle creeps were there. And it bounces up and then back down to the Queen of Pain. That is value.
It was a lot of value for RNG. Really greedy from IG to try to go for the cleanup. Yeah, you wipe RNG for the most part. They were respawning, and you fought under an outpost. Just poor decision made from IG that is punished quite nicely by RNG. They do still find some key kills. I think killing off Monet does make that whole exchange pretty nice. And Setsu especially, he's worth a lot more than anyone else on the map. So finding those kills have helped IG a bit, but it hasn't changed.
Got the roar off. Ollie, a sitting duck, tries to force staff away, but just can't get away with it. RNG, that net worth lead. You look at the graph. It's almost, well, it is at 9k. It's just the graph hasn't updated quite yet. Still, you look at that Naga Siren after the Manta. I mentioned before she was very close to getting her first ultimate orb, but she ended up dying back. She can afford one now. She's got 3k gold, but this is not the kind of snowball you need from a farming Naga Siren.
No.
In RNG,
it's been really slow for Fly. Like, his farm progression has tapered off heavily. It's down to RNG just finally applying that pressure. Oh, no.
just gaze on the illusions.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they can be a bit tanky at this point. Not quite yet. I think once you have this Scotty up on Fly, you will fix a few issues. Not quite everything. The BKB is going to be key for Fly. The magic damage coming out from RNG is just massive. Setsu is burning through everyone. You have the Phoenix that can apply a lot as well. The Chain Frost from Lich, just a bit too much. It's really down to the fact that it's very easy to get control on Fly, especially if he doesn't get the song off. It's just super straightforward for RNG.
They jump on Monet. Oh, the Icarus Knife straight into the Ice Path. September. A little misplay, but Monet, he's going to BKB up and keep going forward. They are going straight after that Naga Siren, and she can't get the song off in time. She dies again. Setsu now on the front lines, just using so much damage up against the side of IG, and they are just losing heroes left, right, and center. As Ollie going to go down. You saw JT barely managing to blink away before that Pulse Nova ticks him out. Every attempt they go for, it just doesn't work out in the way of IG. And I mean, that last team fight, John, the Phoenix made a mistake. He Icarus dived into the Ice Path. They still couldn't win it out.
I don't think that was a mistake. The mistake was IG going for fights with her Naga Siren while the Naga's really not farmed up. Manta style is not enough to make Naga Siren a hero. Even the Scotty, as mentioned, it's progressing slowly. Not too bad considering how far behind Fly is. It's actually not too bad. He's about 3,000 behind Lesh, but considering this kind of start, that's to be expected. It's still within an acceptable bound, but you don't fight, but it's Naga.
No, they jump onto Super. Super is rather tanky for a support. Literally now Flywind gets a roar off. Another great egg from September. They just can't take it out. Emo trying to run away. The song's committed by Flywind. He does have a BKB. Still Kaka also trying to get something, but he's falling low. Just controlling up Monet. Nobody did quite yet, but IG are just really low on HP still. They find 2 on the side of RNG. And that song that came in did allow him to kite and turn very well. Oh, Kaka, arrow doesn't connect on Monet again, so now he loses his life, and Monet feels like he's just got a free bunch of kills to get, though not anymore. The buyback comes out, though Super also buys back. He's TPing in. The fight continues. RNG, do you really want to keep going? It looks like they will just let it go.
IG. Still hunting.
Okay, Monet again though, he's a very tanky target. Super Frost shields him up, Monet's starting to follow, Sonic Wave with that Supernova. It just keeps him alive. Now he's got the Enrage off and they can't clean him up. They will find, however, Emo on the DK. And poor old Ollie, he knows the drill. Flywind has Roar. Can he break the distance? Ice Path is very nice. And Arrow does also connect on the Beastmaster. Monet, using those spider legs, can't get in range to get a hit off and hope for a bash. But you know what, RNG, they know Emo doesn't have buyback, so why not just go for that Roshan that just spawned up?
They will have to watch out for the song this time around. I'm fairly sure they should be aware it's back up. It's been a while since that last first half of the fight, and it's a very straightforward process for IG to try to steal, although Fly isn't really sticking around that area. Looks like they will just give this away for free. No, they scout out. No, what? Fly actually had to use the song up top to run away from Setsu.
Oh no. Setsu's not even done, he's still chasing. He'll eventually let it go. Look at Flywind though, he's looking for a Roar attempt onto Ollie. They won't get it, but they found the Aegis, they found the cheese. Both of which are currently sitting on Monet. And RNG, they look so good today.
They definitely do. RNG is stuck in a bit of a rough spot. Like, the map isn't completely shut down, right? There's still tier 2s, which RNG will slowly chip away at. They still have some control on the map in this case. They are inching closer towards that Scotty on Fly, which is going to buff that Naga Siren up a bit, but not as much as you'd expect. I think it will mitigate the regen capabilities of RNG though. That is fairly important. The one thing for IG is that they have really good high ground defense. They've got the Jakiro, they've got the Naga Siren, they've got good AoE if it comes down to high ground.
Sonic Wave TP's away, just trying to push the wave out to not allow that bot tier 2 to go down.
Fly.
He could be in trouble. Song. Oh, Fly needs to get out. Looks like he will be fine. No BKBs have been popped yet. Who they found? Monet? Ends up getting Ollie's Courier. Committed the Abyssal Blade for the Courier, but well, gold is gold. And Setsu, meanwhile, just sitting on the T3 tower trying to get the Edict off. They even found Fly's Courier. Speaking of Fly, he does have the amount of gold he needs now to buy the Eye of Skadi, but he will be leaving. Well, his buyback, is it even available? Yeah, it is. He's just short 350.
Yeah, he's gonna need some more farm. I think he will prioritize the Skadi in this case. Like, the moment he pops Song and fight anyway, a buyback wouldn't be that useful. Like, he needs that added control for his team in this high ground.
He's running up. He's got no Courier. He does buy it. Monet straight on top of JT, the egg dropping as well as the Primal Roar, everything just to ensure this Queen of Pain can't survive. She does have buyback available. They glyphed already as well on the side of IG. Sunray heal everyone up. Arrow just going to go straight through everybody, but Emo jumps in on Monet. That'll be the Aegis going down, but now the Chain Frost will only bounce once. They want to go again. Emo would be a great target. They do get a bash off straight off the bat. Sonic Wave's committed, but it doesn't save Emo. He'll buy back as well. Now Flywind does commit the song, trying to get away from Monet. They'll turn that song off, but Abyssal straight forward from Monet still. He's falling very low. The Sunray won't be enough to heal him up. And RNG, they're on the back foot now. JT gonna make the chase onto Setsu. It's a huge kill on this Leshrac, and no, they can't find it. The cheese comes out just in the nick of time from Setsu. He'll use up to avoid the arrow and Ice Path. Can he turn it by himself? Surely not, and he will not be able to. They do finally get this huge Leshrac kill they needed. IG, it's been a while since they won a team fight, but it has happened.
Yeah, that is a big set of trades going the way of IG. They successfully defend their high ground, and this is where their lineup can quite shine. Just a lot of abilities that can lock you out from sieging easily. They are going to be trying to get that high ground push for themselves. I don't think they have enough time to really do significant damage on that tier 3, but they've given themselves some space. You've given a lot more gold onto Fly, who can work towards his next item or hold for that buyback, which he now has, which is going to give IG a lot more options in how they play around this map now.
RNG don't really want to have to commit their buybacks. Frost Shield, Chain Frost being committed. Flywind gonna go for a song. Doesn't catch anyone. He tries. He thought he may be able to catch September. The Sonic Wave. The JT does have the Ags after all, so the cooldown is a lot lower. And they won't get the tier 3, but you know what? It's a much needed space and gold that IG did need. So I think they'll be okay with all this.
Yeah, again, they've gotten a lot of gold onto Fly. They've given themselves some space to breathe. They can finally dip into that jungle. RNG is still out for blood though. They smoke up. Try to find something.
JT reveals himself. Monet now knows, but the immediate blink TP. Moonlight Shadow just in case. RNG will probably continue to try and be aggressive across the map. Like, they don't want to give the space regardless of how ahead they are.
Yeah, I mean, they can't afford to let off on that pace. You're reaching the point where the Naga can be a major issue. And, no.
They almost make a jump. The Shiver's Guard did connect on Ollie, but forced staffed away in time. You think RNG waits for the next Roshan?
They could. I think that might just give a bit too much space towards Fly. Like, Fly's working towards a Butterfly next, and that's going to boost the damage output of the Naga and really boost the durability in terms of fighting against that Ursa, because Monet is not going for an MKB. So there's a huge window where you can't quite man-fight the Naga Siren as smoothly as you'd expect here.
Oh, they're going to try and run in here. IG are smoked up. RNG don't really want to have to fight up the high ground. They're going to D-ward off. They realize they were spotted, and that'll be enough.
Yeah, a lot of caution from both sides. I think both sides do understand it's a bit of a fine line right now. For IG, they're just waiting out for that butterfly on Fly. Very close to it. Just a few hundred gold away from it. 400 gold away. Then the butterfly is up. Of course, you are going to be sacrificing buyback gold for Fly if he does opt to buy straight in, but we have seen with IG, with Fly specifically, he hasn't been afraid of taking these risks. He understands that the team does need to take these risks to win these fights now.
Some tier 4 items are dropping, so these items can be quite game-changing, especially at this stage of the game. Also notice Kaka, he is currently holding an Aghanim Scepter that he bought about 30 seconds ago. And Looks like he's going to take the quickening charm for himself, so much more spam of the Starstorm. Meanwhile, JT, I think he's bringing out a spell prism for himself. In fact, no, he takes the magic lamp.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower.
It's actually a bit surprising that RNG just doesn't have as many tier 4s. They haven't been as focused on the jungle, so they haven't cleared out their entire drops yet, which does give IG just a bit of an edge, especially in their supports with all those item pickups they have. I'd say perhaps consider clearing out more of the jungle to get some drops, but hasn't really been happening just yet.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're looking to try and make this this top tier 2 tower push.
Dire's bottom
Nice arrow from Kaka. But they will keep Monet safe. Just trying to slow down the inevitable push of this tier 2.
structures are fortified.
RNG do cliff the creeps. And Moonlight Shadow to be popped from Kaka.
Radiant's top tower.
That Hawk did make it very obvious that they are invis right now. And again, IG will kind of have to sit back and not really capitalize on that Moonlight. While all this has been happening, Emo has been freely farming the opposite side of the map with that Dragon form. And it looks like he's going to be pretty close to that Aghanim Scepter. So that free pathing Black Dragon's going to be up very, very soon. That may be a real game changer here for the side of IGs. You are really starting to see all these heroes on the side of IG starting to become cores. RNG, the best they can hope for right now is go for a Roshan play. That's exactly what they do. IG, do you even bother trying to fight this? They won't really have a choice. They smoke up, but they're not going to make it in time. It's going to go down way too fast.
They've got the Ag's Blessing from that Roche as well, so they do have multiple options for who to gift that to. I believe Monet just built into his, so probably not ideal to give it to the Ursa. Could see, I think they're just going to use it on, yeah, they use it on Lush. So you've got that added damage and utility from your Lightning Storm.
Smoke up, RNG. They do jump on the Jakiro. Ori does get himself on the cliff, and no, he won't be able to TP himself out. They got vision. So Ori throws one last Ice Path and does die. He has buyback, he'll be fine.
Emo is okay.
Meanwhile, JT just pushing out that bottom wave. Those creeps will all die from the Shadow Strike of the Queen of Pain. They have bought enough time now that the Dragon Knight does have the full Ag Scepter up. So, Black Dragon is available. He's got himself a nice leveler.
Yeah, that actually makes it pretty scary for RNG to give any space towards IG. The moment they lose a fight, their high ground is going to be much easier to take with that leveler on an Ag's Dragonite. The towers will just melt.
Oh, they do jump on Kaka and he gets stomped up. He can't blink away or leap away. Now, Fly, he'd be a huge kill, but he gets the mirror images off, and now Emo jumps in with the Dragon Tail. Straight in the middle of all this with his Blade Mail, just tanking up all the damage, but now Primal Roar will come out. Chain Frost and Egg still pouncing around. Song was committed, but they just can't do anything with it. This dragon is eventually going to be slain. And he has no buyback. He had no gold for it. All they can do is delay with Sonic Wave. Just keep spamming out Sonic Wave, Macro Pyre, anything you can. But that's going to be at least 2 Raxes going down. There is still a tier 2 tower at the bot lane, so they won't have the option for the Megas.
Yeah, I mean, at least for IG, they're not going to lose much more. In fact, RNG is playing very conservatively, despite having that Aegis and Cheese. They do
no
pull
creeps.
back just a touch.
They have 0 creeps. Backdoor protection kicked in. And nah, they just couldn't take it.
It's down to JT just cutting those waves. He's been doing that for a while, as you mentioned, but it is really kicking into effect. RNG is going to have to... I don't think they can really punish JT. They don't have the lineup to just get onto that Queen of Pain. I mean, they have Setsu with travels. No one else really that's just innately mobile to catch that Queen of Pain at this point.
Once he's got the side device up though on the left track, that should be the point where you can really just get rid of JT and stop this kind of creep skipping that's going on from this Quap. Setsu even going to move up to the top lane. Ice Path is pretty decent, but you don't have the follow-up, and now Prime Roar comes in. Sonic Wave committed already. They're trying to jump onto Fly. He does have that butterfly evasion, but so much control is coming out from RNG. They do get the Naga Siren, and she has no buyback. In fact, make that a third with Ollie. He will buy back immediately, however. It's all up to JT to delay this for another 10 seconds or so.
No.
Setsu about to drop it. He gets the Yules off in time. JT does die. Commits his own buyback. Maybe you just jump out there and kill Setsu, but he has an Aegis anyway. And RNG, they must realize by this point, there's no buyback on that Naga. Moonlight Shadow popped and Glyph has also been committed. IG have to make a play right now. They get the Aegis, Emo. He jumps in straight away. Who do you go after, though? They're going to try again onto the Ursa, but he's just so tanky right now. Sonic Wave gets thrown out. They're starting to fall quite low on RNG, but there's the egg being dropped again. They have lost Kaka and the Mirana. He has no buyback, and now only one tier 4 tower left. As Monet does also start bringing out an MKB for himself. They do go straight onto that Queen of Pain. JT is so low, but not low enough. He blinks away. Who else? They go on Emo instead. He's trying to take as much damage as he can, but he's really not that tanky anymore. And this game should theoretically be over. They could try, but it looks like RNG have gotten this game won. And IG have called the GG.
Oh, man. RNG just played that super well. It looked a bit rocky at the start when they were losing a lot of space with Monet. He had to switch lanes, 3 times? Walking from mid to bot to top. Lost out a lot in the early farm trade, but RNG was still winning out up against Fly. They were denying the farm from minute 1, and IG just could not find that space. I think it really came down to the fact that they could not find the space in the Naga, and RNG just got so much value from their regen and their magic damage. There was no BKBs coming out. I understand the mindset. You don't want the BKB because there is a Beastmaster who goes through it, but the magic damage from Setsu was buying so much space for Monet to clean up afterwards.
Well, with that game number 1 over, RNG do take a 1-0 lead up against IG in this best of 3 series. We will be back very, very soon for the second game of this BO3. It's MLP Dota and JohnXFire. We'll see you all again in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes for that second game.